if you want to be my lover. I couldn't breathe, like in my sleep, like I couldn't breathe. I would wake up and I'd be like, Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Jasmine Antoine and I'm so happy to have you. Today, I'm going to make a top knot with my hair. This is a get ready with me video. We're also gonna have some chit chat, a little girl talk. If you end up enjoying the video here, I encourage you to go ahead and subscribe and make sure you also hit that notification bell so that you're notified when new content is available. And if you'd like to receive even more encouragement, go ahead and follow me on the gram so that you can receive that throughout your week. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, so the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and brush through or comb through my hair to get the rest of these kinks out. And I am brushing it up so that it can already be prepared to get into a pony. The next thing I'm gonna do is make me a part so that I can create some pieces to hang out. I might curl them. Okay, so let's talk about modesty. We all have our different opinions about what modesty is and how one can dress modestly. We all have our different opinions. But something we all can agree on is that modesty means to cover up, right? Right, we all believe in that. We all think that modesty means to cover up. We also all can agree that modesty means an appearance intended to avoid indecency. And even though we all have different opinions on how one can dress modestly, we all need to stay mindful of our appearance in front of men and women because some women are struggling with homosexuality. We need to stay mindful of others while we're at the gym. We need to cover up. Something that I've been doing lately while I go to the gym is to make sure that I have something around my bottom area because I have hips. I'm not trying to cause someone to stumble. And so a lot of times, if I don't have a t-shirt that will cover my hips and my bottom area, what I'll do is bring an extra jacket or something light and just tie it around my waist, especially when I'm squatting. I'm gonna go ahead and brush my hair up a little bit more. Another place that we need to stay mindful is at church because we should help people stay focused on God and not how good our body looks in some jeans or how good our legs are looking in some heels. Okay? Listen, I'm not saying that we shouldn't wear jeans or heels to church. I'm not saying that at all. We just need to be mindful. There's a way that we can style things, still look cute, and honor our Father in heaven. We should even be mindful while we're at work and even while we're at the grocery store, y'all. We just need to do our part. I'm just trying to make this really high, so I'm trying to bring my hair forward even more. But I also want to get my edges. So I'm just gonna make this into a loose pony right now and then I'm gonna come back and retie it. Okay, so there's that. I'm not demo, obviously, y'all know that. So I've heard some women say, well, he shouldn't be looking, he shouldn't be staring at me. True, he shouldn't be staring at you. No one should be looking on anyone lustfully. But sis, I want you to listen to this. God gave men eyes to admire beauty. Men aren't gonna go walking around with their hands over their eyes. They're not gonna do that. The way I look at it is this. If you know that what you're wearing is most likely gonna trigger someone to think lustfully, don't wear it. And do this out of love. If you do it out of love, you're gonna do it from a good place in your heart. You're gonna wanna do it. You're gonna be willing to do some things. You're gonna have a happier attitude about it. For my edges, I'm using Silk Elements Extra Strength. I've been using this product for some years now and I really like it. I'm also gonna use a toothbrush. I know that I have some fair skin sisters on here. You're probably gonna be like, what in the world? Why are you using a toothbrush? Okay, so I use this for my edges. A lot of black girls use a toothbrush or a little brush for the edges. It just gets us right. Also, this is not a toothbrush that we use for our teeth as well. So I've learned that when we reveal too much of our bodies, it means that sometimes we don't understand our value. We don't understand our value, so we show a lot of our bodies. can get these babies nice and slick. Okay. Two other reasons why we are revealing much of our bodies is because we are lacking confidence. We are lacking confidence, so we try to get attention using our bodies. And another reason is that some people just don't know. Some people just don't know that we should cover up. Whatever the reason is, we can get set free from those things if we're spending time with God. The Lord literally gives us a new mindset, a new heart, new everything. Like seriously, he just gives us a new way of thinking as we spend time with him. He transforms us into his likeness. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you all about is about the struggles I had as a new mom. So my baby is 11 months now and things are going great. It's truly going great. But in the beginning, it was terrible. I'm gonna make this into a higher and tighter ponytail. So I did not get the birth story that I wanted. I was grieving about that, literally crying because I had to get a C-section. I wanted to deliver vaginally and naturally, but I didn't get that. So I was grieving over that a lot. Just making this really high, or as high as I can. Then after being released from the hospital, we had to go back to the hospital like 3 times, y'all. 2 times because of a jaundice issue that my baby was having. And then the second time was because my feet and my legs were abnormally swollen. They told me it was because of all the fluid that was pumped up in me because I was on Pitocin. Okay, that's pretty high. So they said that the Pitocin was supposed to help my contractions to become stronger and closer together. And it was doing that, but it wasn't doing it as much. And I think I went up on the highest dose of Pitocin that they could possibly give me, but I wasn't making much progress. So what I'm gonna do now is make my ponytail a little taller. I've seen someone do this. I was like, okay, let me try it out. So I'm just making it tall.
Looks like I dream a Jimmy type stuff. Yeah, I remember that show. This is kind of cute too. I like it. Spice Girl. Okay.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do now to straighten my hair just a little bit is to put some petroleum jelly on it and use a flat iron. I use petroleum jelly because it doesn't really make my hair super greasy or anything like that. It's perfect. Use my flat iron to straighten pieces of my ponytail. My flat iron isn't that high, so we just gonna have to work with it right now. So like I was saying, we had to go back to the hospital a couple of times, and so after that, I was really stressed. It was too much going on. I was feeling overwhelmed with breastfeeding, with not getting a whole bunch of sleep with a newborn. Feeling overwhelmed with not getting the birth story that I wanted. I was also feeling overwhelmed with trying to please my husband and, worrying if I'm being a good enough wife, a good enough mom. I just had a lot of worries. So after going to the hospital 2 times, I started to have panic attacks. I would start sleeping, but I couldn't breathe. Like in my sleep, I couldn't breathe. I would wake up and I'd be like, like it was really weird. Up until then, I never experienced anything like that. I spoke to my mom and my husband about it. And they said that I need to go back to the hospital just to check to see if everything was okay. And so they did some tests on my lungs to see if everything was okay, and everything came back great. And I was like, okay, this is good, thinking about COVID and all that. But at the same time, I was kind of frustrated because I was like, what is going on with me? Why am I struggling like this? Why can't I breathe? Why can't I sleep? I'm wanting to sleep. And then at the times that I'm able to get some sleep, I'm not able to sleep. I'm waking up trying to breathe. I couldn't breathe. I literally felt like I was going to die. That's how I felt. Okay, so now I'm gonna style my hair. I'm actually gonna do 2 styles. So this first style, let's just call it style number 1. Style number 1, or let's call it the Grinch style, because honestly, it reminds me of people who lived in Whoville from the Grinch. The Grinch movie, yes, it reminds me of people who lived in Whoville. So tell me in the comments if you like the Grinch style or if you like the braid style, which will be style number 2. Okay, so for the Grinch style, I'm just gonna spread my hair all around, even in the back. I didn't really look to see how professionals did it. This is just what we doing, okay? So I'm just gonna gather it at the bottom. I'm gonna take another scrunchie, go around it. Okay, and now we're gonna use another scrunchie, and I'm going to put this one kind of halfway. And I have these hair chopsticks that I'm going to stick in. Oh, this piece just keeps coming through. It's cool, it's cute, it's different. It's definitely different. Yeah, for the Grinch look, I think I'm gonna keep my bangs straight. So, what do you guys think? You guys like this one? Untamed Spice. Is it giving the Grinch vibes? It's kind of cute. It's actually really cute. It's just really, it's like a lot, and I'm not an a lot person, you know. I like to be beautiful, but this is a little very bold for me, but it's cute. Okay, going in for the second look. I'm gonna take these out. Before I move on to the next video, I want to explain why I was having panic attacks. So my panic attacks came because I was stressed out from breastfeeding. I felt like my baby wasn't getting enough. She would be breastfeeding for almost an hour. I would take her off and then she'd be crying her little lungs out. And so it really worried me. I felt like I wasn't producing enough. And then whenever I would pump, I didn't see a bunch of milk come out either. I was really frustrated and annoyed with all the pain that I was going through from having a C-section. I was worried about my baby not being able to breathe throughout the night. I was worried that she was going to suffocate. I was worried if I was pleasing my husband. I wanted to know if he was pleased with me as a wife. I was also worried about, not being a good enough mom. I was feeling like a failure because I wasn't able to deliver vaginally. I was feeling like a horrible mom because I wanted and needed more sleep, but I wasn't asking for help for a while. I was also grieving my dad's passing because he passed away in September of 2019. It was 2 weeks after I got married. And so when I got pregnant and even after I delivered my baby, I was still very sad about his passing. I was just really torn up about it. And the fact that he wasn't able to see my baby or meet her really crushed me as well. So after I had my baby for several weeks, I was going through a really hard time emotionally, physically, and mentally. I would say that, yeah, I was dealing with like some baby blues, but I was definitely dealing with postpartum anxiety. So I started to do some things to take my mind out of that dark place that I was in. I started to ask my husband for more help. I went on walks. I meditated on 1 Peter 5:7, which tells us to cast all of our anxieties, worries, all of our cares on the Lord because he cares for us. And I would meditate on that part of the verse that he cares for us. I was like, okay, God sees that I'm going through this. God sees that this is making me sad. God sees that I'm really frustrated with this. God sees that I'm feeling really overwhelmed right now. He cares about that. He cares about how I'm feeling. He cares about these things. And so when I would meditate on that part that he cares about how I'm feeling, it would give me comfort. I would also talk to God about how I was feeling in my prayer journals. Get you one. And I stopped breastfeeding, and I know that some people are like, no, you could have kept going. But really for me, to help my mental state, I had to stop. My baby stopped breastfeeding around week 9, week 10, somewhere around there. And it was a good decision for the both of us. Of course, I wanted to give my baby all of those nutrients and, do it the natural way. But for my mental state, I couldn't continue. And another thing that I did that helped me out a lot is that I would get alone sometimes whenever my husband would take care of my baby. I would get alone sometimes, whether that was in a closet or getting to my restroom or going in the shower, and I would just cry. I would release how I was feeling. I would not try to hold it in. I would just cry it out. I'm so much better. After I did those things, I started to feel so much better. And I also realized that after having surgery, your hormones are affected. And so I would say that that was probably playing a big effect into how I was feeling. But I just wanted to say those things and be open about those things because there are some people who feel alone. And so, sis, if you're going through any of those things, I want to let you know that you are not alone and I am praying for you. And I definitely encourage you to use one of those things that I did, or use all of them to help you get out of your funk. Okay, moving on to the second style, which is kind of like a braid. It's a braid top bun. What you're gonna do is split your ponytail into 3 sections and you're going to braid it. Alright guys, this is style number 2. It is the braided top knot. Let me know if you like this one better than the Grinch one down in the comments. So the biggest thing I'm learning within marriage is to submit to my husband in everything. Sometimes if I don't like something that I need to submit to, I ask God and I'm like, Lord, do I really need to submit to this? Are you sure I have to submit to this? And he tells me in everything, in everything, in everything, in everything. If my husband is not asking me to sin, then I need to submit to him in everything. And honestly, it's not really something that I'm learning. I guess you could say this is just a thought that has been pressed down deeply, further down in my heart, that the Lord wants me to submit. I know sometimes we as women can look at submitting as in someone trying to control us, but that's not what it is. I often have to remind myself that me submitting to my husband isn't him controlling me. Submitting to my husband is honoring God and obeying his word, and it's also honoring my husband. I can still voice my opinions respectfully, but in the end, whatever my husband says, I need to submit. If it's not sin, I need to submit to it. I've just seen in my life that when I submit to my husband, since it is a part of God's word, when I'm obeying his word by submitting to my husband, the Lord opens doors for me. Since we can't expect for God to bless us and to put us in certain places if we are not obeying his word, if we are not submitting to our husbands. If we're not submitting to our husbands, God isn't going to bless that. God isn't going to bless sin. God isn't going to bless mess. He's going to bless us when we honor him and when we obey him and when we submit to his word. If we're not submitting to our husbands, we're not submitting to God. All right, girls, so that's the end of this video. If you have not subscribed and you'd like to receive more encouragement like this, go ahead and do so. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well so that you're notified when new content is available. And if you found this video encouraging, please share with another sis so that they can receive some encouragement as well. Also, if you'd like to receive some extra encouragement, go ahead and find me on the gram. I'd love to see you over there. I hope you all have a very blessed day and a super awesome week. Goodbye.